For task 3B, basically all I did was look over my data from the pre-survey and the post-survey and the means and the standard deviation, and kind of thought about what those numbers mean when it comes to the way that I am operating in my classroom, and how I reached my goals or did not reach my goals. And the 3 goals that I picked out were acknowledging adherence to the rules, noticing when students are not engaged, and understanding students' backgrounds and interests. I picked these because I felt like they were things that I could improve on, and had somewhat of an idea of how I could improve on those things. I was a little disappointed with acknowledging adherence to the rules because the mean stayed the same. The good news is that the standard deviation went down a little bit. So although my mean was about the same, it wasn't necessarily low, but it just didn't go up. But the standard deviation went down, which means that the answers were more similar, and this could show that students have a more clear understanding of what I'm doing to show that I know that they're following the rules and rewarding the class or an individual student. I think one of the reasons that the mean stayed the same is that I just kept using strategies to show acknowledging their adherence to the rules that I'd already been using. So maybe since I didn't try any new tactics, the mean stayed the same. So that's something that I'm going to continue to work on, try new things to show that I do appreciate them following the rules in my class and seeing what works best for each particular class in the art room. My second goal was noticing when students are not engaged. And for that one, the mean did go up a little bit, which obviously shows that I do have some improvement in this area. And again, these are things that I'm always going to continue to work on. But the mean went up, so that's good. And I could tell even before the survey that I thought this one was going to go up, just because I noticed that once I started focusing on this, the engagement was increased in my classroom, and I could tell just based off how much work was getting done, the effort students were putting into the work, the amount of projects we were finishing in art class, things like that. I did notice that on question number 6, the mean for that particular question went up quite a bit. In the pre-survey, it was 4.24, and in the post-survey, it was 4.57, which is a pretty good increase. And that question was, my teacher wants me to be excited and interested in what we are learning. And I was really happy to see an increase in that mean, because, as the art teacher, I try to make it fun for them so that they can learn things and express their creativity, and getting more projects done is always important. For the last goal, I picked understanding students' background and interest. The pre-survey for that mean was 3.15, and the post-survey mean was 3.52. So I had an increase in that one as well, which is very good. I picked this goal because, this is important in any room to understand your students' background and interests, because the more you understand your students, the easier it is to build a relationship with them. That helps with classroom management and, of course, tailoring your lessons to meet the needs of the specific students in your classroom. So I was glad to see an increase in this one. And question number 1, my teacher wants to know about the things I'm interested in. That one went up, and it had a pretty high mean for that particular question. I was very happy to see that. Most of the scores for all of the questions in this particular survey went up. So I felt like overall that was really good. I wasn't so surprised to see the mean for the questions about whether or not my teacher asked me things about activities outside of school or what your home life is like, things like that. Just having conversations with them. Most of those questions, the mean went up. And that shows that I have made more of an effort to ask them questions at the beginning of class, and that's one of the things that I made sure I did whenever I focused on this one. So overall, I think that, you know, in the time frame that I've just started to work on these specific things, I've seen a little bit of growth and learned some things that work and don't work for these particular goals, and I'm going to continue to work on them and improve in my classroom.